Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be doing a 1v1 me for gold. This is something that I've done a couple times on the channel, and today we're going to be using specifically the SPHT, the new tier 10 super heavy with 3,500 hit points. The reason why is because I feel like this tank has the highest chance of winning. Now that might sound unfair, but at the end of the day, I am the one giving away gold. And I'm so confident in the capabilities of the SPHT, I'm willing to bet 1 million gold that I do not lose a battle in today's video. If you enjoy videos like this and you want to see more in the future, make sure to smash that subscribe button and let's get straight into it. We're going to start running calibrated shells. I was originally going to run gun rammer, but the E5 has very strong turret armor, and using gun rammer against an E5 not going to be super effective trying to cut through that turret, so we'll see how this goes, but either way, best of luck to the E5. Goob luck. Alright. Best of one game. Okay, here we go. Keeping it as fair as I can for anybody that joins the room. Okay, so the question is, what is this player going to do in their E5? Are they going to play passive? Are they going to play aggressive? In this vehicle, you want to try and obviously bridge the gap, because you have a very dangerous gun, and you also have pretty good armor, at least on flat ground. Hull down, your armor actually gets weaker, so as I said, you want to try and bridge that gap so that you can get to the enemy as fast as possible and use your hit points and DPM to outtrade them. Question is, where are they going? Because they're not on the heavy flank. We can very clearly see that, which is an interesting decision. Not sure why you wouldn't want to sit hull down in one of these spots here or maybe here. If they spawn camp, I don't know what I'm going to say, but we'll see. We will see. So far, we haven't spotted anything. The problem is we're not that fast, and if they went all the way over to the medium flank, we're going to be in a, rather weird encounter here. So this guy asked if it's a draw, what do we do? And I said redo, but if you're going to spawn camp, I'm probably not going to fight you again, I'm going to be honest. Like, guys, if you're going to 1v1 someone, you probably shouldn't spawn camp to try and get the advantage. That's kind of unsportsmanlike behavior, and I'm probably not going to count it. But so far, I have checked the entire heavy side, I've checked the entire medium side, and nobody's been detected. Which probably means that yes, this player is spawn camping in one of these back bushes, which is kind of lame, if I'm going to be totally honest. Because we've looked everywhere else. I mean, unless they've repositioned, but I've literally checked both flanks of the map. My guess is I'm going to be spotted at some point moving up here, and they're going to be in one of these back spots, which would be pretty lame. I'm really hoping they're not in that back corner there, but my guess is they're probably over here. Let's see, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, and yep, they are spawn camping. That is incredibly lame, my guy. I don't care if I'm in an OP tank. At the end of the day, like, that's just pretty lame. But thankfully, I was able to outsmart and put myself in a position where we knew they would be. But yeah, like, what do we gain spawn camping? Why wouldn't you want to use your heavy like a proper heavy, Either way, we're just going to keep going. I might not be the fastest, but I still do feature enough mobility that I am able to get around the corner and get my first penetrating shell into the E5. Now we're going to reload. And the thing is, well, he's really struggling to pen me, but what I was going to say is the thing is that my vehicle may not feature the best armor, but it's got enough that you're still going to very easily deal damage and get bounces in return. So we're just going to drive sideways like this and make sure that the E5 can't hit me again. At this point, yeah, E5's not doing all too well, let's be honest. Bro does not have much health left, and we're going to get a nice hatching shell into his vehicle. Yeah, it's Jover. It is indeed Jover. I'm just going to say GG, and we'll take him out of the game. My recommendation to people is if you're going to fight someone, please don't spawn camp. It kind of defeats the purpose of a 1v1 if you're just going to sit and spawn and, try to outsmart someone. Doesn't seem like it made too much of a difference there, as we won, and they only did 300 damage. I don't think they're a bad player. No, they're decent, but unfortunately, it didn't go all too well for them. I appreciate the attempt. We're gonna get somebody else in. Let's see. That guy's in a tier 8. I think the Cron was the person I saw in next. So I'm gonna put the Cron in. Obviously, the Cron is another incredibly dangerous vehicle, but see how it goes. Hellas is also a decent map for the Cron, so we'll see. I'm gonna say good luck again. And here we go. Let's see, let's see. I don't want the Cron to have the positional advantage. That's really the biggest threat, is the Cron getting hauled down and being able to clip me and back into cover. Because this tank doesn't have the most mobility, right? And the Cron does get super speed boost, which allows it to get into cover really quickly if it wants to. So the last thing I want is for that Cron to gain that advantage. Again, I need to close the gap and get real close and personal to this player. So what we're going to do, so we're going to go this way, and then we're going to cut through underneath the water, and I'm expecting them to be in this haul down ramp in front of me here. Like, that's where I would expect a Cron to go. Now, it's not the only spot. They could be camping again. You know, it's not unheard of to spawn camp, but we do have the Cron detected. Okay. What do we want to do here? I mean, obviously I have the health to outtrade this player, and that is an advantage for me. However, I still don't want to be, like, completely in a bad spot. Alright, I'm going to move over here, and we're just going to go for it. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Puts on his reticle Cali, and that's not a good start for the Cron. Obviously, bouncing that shell gives me the ability to move over here, and he's going to put on his speed boost. We're going to go for one shell into his vehicle. Now we're going to put on my adrenaline, and this is where it's not going to go great for the Cron, potentially. There you go, nice tracking shell. He only has one more repair kit, which isn't great for him, and his speed boost just wore off, which also isn't great for him. Let's go for another shell. Somehow he bounces my flat side, which isn't very good. And at this point, we're doing pretty decent, because we still have 2,700 health left, and we're just going to drive up here, where the Cron's going to have a hard time countering me. And we're just going to drive directly over like this. Keep on going, and let's see. He bounces me again. Not a great situation, though, for me, because we got stuck. Come on. Go, go, go. And, okay, we bounce him. Bruh. Alright. That's not great, I gotta be honest. This is not a great spot to be in. As you can see, the Cron having that mobility advantage is not very good for me. And I don't want him to continue having that advantage. So we're going to drive up here. We're going to aim it on the Cron. There you go. Nice 416. We just need to push this player. That's the best play to make right now, is to just push them and stop them from leaving. So we're going to move over here. They're going to put on their speed boost, and I'm going to go for a tracking shell, locking them down. They don't have a repair kit because I have specifically used their repair kit before. So at this point, they're just trying to run. We're going to track them again, and I'm going to say GG. Once again, this is a pretty solid 1v1, but as we can see, the SPHT gains the advantage again. Having this much health and DPM allows you to get away with so much. I will say the Cron played decent, but they didn't position the smartest. They put themselves in a spot where I was still able to bridge that gap. The best play to make against the SPHT is put yourself at a distance where I'm not able to, you know, get close to you. Like, even though obviously I kind of got stuck, it didn't really matter because they still bounced a couple of their shots and I was still able to take advantage of that. So overall, not too bad. Let's do this one in the mouse. I'm interested to see the mouse versus the SPHT. Who will win? This would be a pretty interesting fight, I think you guys would agree, because the mouse has similar DPM, and the mouse might not have to fire premium shells to pen me, of course. This is a advantage on my favor for the map, though, because obviously I can work hold down, and the mouse, while it does only have 1 degree less gun depression than me... Actually, no, the mouse might actually have 8 degrees as well, if I'm not mistaken. But the advantage of this vehicle is the fact that I am able to work the ridgeline better, and I have better heat pen. So we'll see how this goes. I should have probably loaded more gold. 12 heat shells is not that much. I basically have to pen like every shot if I want to reliably take this mouse out of the game. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Let's move over here, and there's the enemy mouse. Interesting decision to have the turret turned like that. We're going to put on my adrenaline, and we're going to chill here. The mouse misses me. I get another shell into his turret. We already have a 1,000 hit point advantage over this player. They're not angling their vehicle at all. There you go, another nice 390. I mean, I guess they're going to try and ram me, which is cool, but it's probably not going to make much of a difference when I can go right through your upper plate. That's the problem with the mouse. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a dangerous vehicle and all, but it just, like, I can just go through his upper plate. Like, what are you going to do to counter that, you know? And in return, I can, like, wiggle, and I can move back and forth, and he's going to have to aim for my weak points, and I can just go right through his turret that time. Horrible rolls coming from my vehicle, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference if I can just wiggle my tank and go for another upper plate shot. We get a bounce, which is obviously pretty good for me. At this point, we are quite ahead in the hit points, and we're just going to go for another turret shot. There's 425. We're going to wiggle my vehicle again. So at this point, I just have so much more health, and we still have a lot of heat shells left. We're just going to go right through the corner, and there you go. Wasn't even remotely close. I mean, the SPHT, again, just has the advantage in every regard. Like, even though that mouse is firing standard ammo, this tank's just completely unfair in that regard. So there you go, 3,161 damage dealt to the mouse. That places me quite a bit higher. And there you go, thank you for the 1v1. Let's see, we have I'm better than Droodle. Alright, put it to the test. The VK90 is probably one of the most cringe tanks to 1v1, so I would be interested to see how it goes. My chat's completely broken, but I'll give this guy about 10, 20 seconds to ready up. If not, I will put somebody else into the queue. Ooh, we could try the Type 5 Heavy. That would be a fun one. It said they were offline. Hopefully that means they're logging back on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unfortunately for you, you're going back into the center, and we're going to get somebody else. Let's see, we have... Oh, he's back? Alright, fine, there you go. Took you a while. Bro died. I'm going to say you better win. Alright. Time to roll out. I won't, bro. The VK90 is a pretty cringe tank, though. I mean, trying to go through that thing's turret is very unenjoyable. I would say it's arguably one of the best 1v1 tanks, because it's just very tricky to go through the weak points, especially if played properly. This also isn't a great map for me. I mean, obviously we can work the middle, but there's not like many spots I can get close to the VK90 without exposing my weak points. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I'll just say good luck. Alright, let's see. I'm going to push over here, I guess. Oh, there they are. Aiming, and... Wow, okay. It's pretty horrible RNG, I gotta say. We did spot them, though, and it looks like they are going to make their way all the way to the far corner. Okay. It would have been nice if that shell had hit, because obviously it would have given me an advantage, but, well, we know how my luck works in this game, so. We're going to move up. Again, not the most mobile. Indeed. Yeah, not the most mobile, but we do have the advantage of still a huge chunk of hit points. We're just going to keep moving up here, and we'll see if we can find that VK90. Keep on going. Okay, let's see. Keep on going. Wow, great RNG again. Okay, and he snaps me. Alrighty. Alrighty. That's not a great start. That is a bad start. My gun trolled me twice, and now the VK90 is in a position where they're able to side scrape, which is really bad for me, because obviously the VK90 has the most ridiculous armor in tier 10, in side scraping at least. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I'm just going to chill here. Let's move up a little bit and see if we can get a decent advantage on the VK90. There you go. Pretty bad roll, but we penned him, so it's better than nothing, right? It is better than nothing. I think what I could try and do is I could try and, like, jump off down below and then try and, like, get around him. I don't think that would be a horrible play. If we go over here, like, I could try and go below him, like, over this way. But he might just reposition, so I guess we'll see. Oh, interesting decision. Okay. Are you going to try and drive over? What's your game plan here? There you go. Nice 359 right into the turret. That's obviously huge. And now we're going to reload. Let's see. Aiming. Okay. See, that right there, that's where the VK90 is really, really weird. Like, that should pen, and it just doesn't. And it never really makes sense, but yeah. VK90 has some incredibly goofy armor. So far, though, I'd say we've done a pretty good job bleeding him out. He's down to 1400 health, and we're pretty healthy still. So I'd say we're doing at least decent in that regard. We're going to move over here, aiming on his lower plate. There's another 370. Killed his engine. And at this position here, he doesn't really have the ability to hide his lower plate, so we're able to just kind of butter through him. He does kill my driver. I'm not going to repair my driver, though. We're just going to chill here, and I'm going to make sure that I have the ability to not have a damaged ammo rack. But let's see. I'm going to get to his side just like this, and then we're going to load an AP right into his flank. Boom. There you go. All right, well, even though we got a little screwed by RNG, we still won, and we had a pretty good game overall, so I can't get too mad. We will do one more 1v1, and then we'll call it. But yeah, pretty good stuff so far. SPHT has been dominating everything in front of us. This is why I've said the SPHT is such an OP tank. Alright, let me get you out. We could do a tier 8 game and fight the 56 TP. But you know what? Let's do the highest DPM vehicle against the SPHT. Why not? Let's see how the Błyskawica does against a tank with over double its health. Because obviously the Błyskawica has 4,200 DPM, which means it can kill me in under a minute if it plays right. However, I also have 2,700 DPM, and more importantly, I can cut through its armor. So this actually might be a closer fight than you think, because my tank is pretty easy to cut through. Błyskawica could easily bleed me out, especially if I bounce 1 or 2 shells. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out. I'm going to start by driving directly down the center road, because this is a very good early... Okay. Oh, we hit him. Okay, nice. That's actually really good, because I lost the same amount of health he did, and that gives me an advantage. There you go. Another nice shot, and then we back up. So far, we're doing pretty good on bleeding him out, I've got to say. We're going to use my adrenaline here, and while he may... Oh, this isn't going well for you. His plan was just to kind of YOLO me, and, like, I get it, you know, YOLO ooga booga. Unfortunately, I don't think that plan worked very well. Yeah, and obviously we're heavy enough that we can kind of just push him. Yeah, that didn't work at all. I gotta be honest. The Błyskawica is very dangerous, but when you drive down the most predictable route and you make some very bad moves, it's not going to go all too well for you. I mean, we bled, what, 300 hit points in total? Even if they had hit every single shot, we still would have easily won that. You can't make a play like that. The best play would have been to wait a little bit passive in the beginning and then take advantage of later. But obviously when you make a play like that, it's not going to go all too well. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to end the video here as we are about 20 minutes in. We did not lose a single game, and it looks like I get to keep 1 million gold to myself. So at the end of the day, the SPHT, it is pretty stupid, especially when it comes to your hit point superiority. As I said, some people might say, oh, it's unfair that you use this tank, but at the end of the day, I'm the one giving away the gold, so if somebody beats me, they can get the gold, right? So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.